Hello everyone. This is, I think it's part 3 of my second gen intercooler swap into my first gen Dodge Cummins. There's the intercooler there. It's I think it's out of a 95. And then I custom made all the intake tubing. And I figured I would do a video on it. Also, someone in my comments asked for a detail on the tubing anyway. So, aside from the intake horn, I used the stock second gen tubes, intercooler tubes, the hot side and cold side, although I did modify them. And this is a HX35 turbo, it's not the stock turbo to this motor. And here, I took the stock intercooler tube, and it was a little too long, so I chopped, I don't know, about 2 or 3 inches out of it. And then rather than weld it back together, so I would only need to use one silicone boot, I just decided to use 2 boots. So I don't have to weld it, I don't have to get anything perfectly aligned. I just wanted to make my life a little easier that way. Some people probably would say all those clamps look ugly, and you know what? You're kind of right, but not a big deal. And this intake tube is going to be covering it anyway. And those are all T-bolt clamps. And you'll notice I did a previous video on these clamp bolts here, because this end of this tube and this end of this tube are straight. There's no hose barb on them. And I was worried about them blowing off under boost. So I made these little tabs. I didn't tighten those down very much. I just cinched them, but I just double nutted them so the nuts stay on. This isn't to pull it together anymore, it's just to keep it where it is. So that's the hot side. And I know I'm missing those clamps. I ordered the wrong size. Then on the cold side, again, there's the stock second gen intake tube. And I chopped a little bit off. I chopped, I don't know, a couple inches off it. And then here's another one of my clamps. 2 T-bolt clamps. I like these bellows style intercooler boots. I imagine they would give you a little more flex, and since the motor is going to be moving and twisting when it's under load, but the intercooler is going to be stationary, I figure I might as well give it as much flex as I can. And then the last piece of the puzzle, which was pretty much the most challenging really, was this intake horn. It came out well enough, but it didn't come out as perfectly as I would like. But all I did, I bought a 3-inch diameter, I think it was 16 gauge aluminized steel 180 degree bend off of eBay. It was a little expensive, and including shipping it was like $30, but yeah, I didn't really have many other options. And I just whittled it away until it fit just right. And I made this flange. This is a 1/2-inch piece of plate that I drilled 4 holes in. I used the grid heater as a template to cut this piece of steel out. And then I used the hole saw and I cut a 2.5-inch diameter hole in here. And then I just whittled away on this tubing here until it set just right. And it's tough because it's a compound angle. It's not just a 45 or a 90 or whatever, because I mean, you see how it curves this way. It's also got a curve forward. It's a little complicated, but I just whittled away at it, and it came out okay. And then I welded it. And then the last challenge, not much of a challenge, is that these stock bolts wouldn't fit directly down into this hole, so I bought a M8 by 1.25 millimeter stud, 100 millimeters long. That was just the right length, and I put some red Loctite on it, threaded it down to the right length, and then I just put a nut on it. And that's about it. It's pretty simple. And here's the front of the intercooler. I haven't put the grill on it yet, but I did put this I don't know what you call this piece on. Put that on, and I did mock up the plastic grill part, and it fits pretty well. It only interferes like right in this area on both sides, so I won't need to trim the grill very much. So that's really about it. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave a comment. Hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't already. And be sure to check out all my other Dodge Cummins videos. I've got a whole bunch of them, and I will be adding more and more as time goes on and as weather allows, because we've got lots of snow. And I'm lucky enough to have a nice warm day today. About 45 degrees out. So anyway, that's all there is to it. So thanks for watching, and as always, come back for more.